Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Prey. So we're like halfway through the first area. We found out that our apartment and our experiences seem to be completely fake and being faked. It seems the reason is that they are erasing my memory and reactivating my memory multiple times using neuromods. So they're installing new neuromods to test them out, it seems like, and every time they remove a neuromod, it seems to just remove your memories. That being said, there's also apparently just these mimic monsters. I assume they're alien in nature, super like extraterrestrial in nature, but who knows? They could have been created in a lab, and they can look like a bunch of other stuff. And apparently, they can also create these weird. I guess these would be pods. Doesn't seem like there's anything really in the pods. So these might just be barriers. It's kind of blurry looking in the distance there when you're out of energy. Alright, so we have a glue cannon. So apparently this is a gun, and so maybe that's what was creating these things. Alright, the TranStar glue cannon, gelliform lattice organism obstructor, disables or immobilizes targets without harming them. Glue can extinguish flames or temporarily stop electric arcs. When hardened, glue can also be used as a climbable platform. Pull the right trigger to fire your glue cannon, press and hold it to fire continuously. We're getting all the tutorial messages. And we have yet another person here that we will pick up stuff from. So I guess the idea was they were trying to fire. You can see that there is a body up there. I'm not sure. Seems like you're fairly mobile here. And we now know what a mimic is. We can see it's running around. We've also seen that there are stronger versions of the mimics. This character,
Morgan,
January.
there, in the foyer. Grab the neuromod you see in the display case. Normally it's a fake, but I swapped in a real one for you. The neuromods are critical. You won't survive without using them to install new aptitudes. I've already updated your transcribe with the list you requested. Take a look.
So how do you smash this? Like it seems like these guys break out eventually. So seems like my health is low. Seems like there's an armor and a health. And these guys are... So the good news is we just can load the last save where we were here anyways. Thank goodness I saved there. But yeah, the bad news obviously is we need to be aware of a level of swapping backwards and forwards on these guys. Let's see. Do we know the code here? We may very well be at a situation where we need to lower the difficulty.
Normally it's a fake, but I swapped in a real one for you. The neuromods are critical. You won't survive without using them to install new aptitudes. I've already updated your transcribe with the list you requested. Take a look.
Apparently, we transcribed the list. Okay. Stores 30 health points. So it is a health and a suit integrity system. Stores 1 health and cures fear. Alright, well then let's go ahead and use 1 health kit. And then it seems like if I click the left trigger, I'd auto sort things between things that seem like they are just items that you could recycle for materials and things that otherwise may have actual value. Seems weird that we have 2 wrenches. We can't, I guess, dismantle wrenches yet. Do we know the security code to get into this room? Because you're not going to be able to do that. And that may very well have hurt me. Seems like time potentially slows down when you zoom in also. Says it's the 23rd. Can't use the security station from the backside, which makes a lot of sense. Okay. Let's check out this conference room. And I think for my own sanity, I probably wouldn't try to run around too much. And just smash coffee mugs and such. Although that may very well be the smarter way to play this. I guess the question really would be, can we change the difficulty? Yes, we could. So, if necessary, we can lower this down to an easier mode. I suspect we're going to start seeing less and less materials that you can need to read. Let's see, hold this to listen.
Robert? Alice, thank God. No one else is...
Where are you?
Hiding. I'm in the conference room. I can't...
Jesus! You're still in the lab?
I can't get out. There's... Where the hell is security?
I don't know what's happening, but Robert, you have to get out of there. Come to the elevators. Someone said we're evacuating. Robert?
Shh. Hang on. Someone's coming.
Okay. Note. Projector colors are still wrong. Boy, that is dangerous. Like, that really did do a lot of damage to me. And it does seem very much like the case that if you go and pick up a note, you will potentially get attacked from behind. And really that just leaves you with, like, potentially, let's see. Can we assign the right trigger? No, you really can't. It seems like you have a decent amount of goo, so you probably should just use that as your default gun for the start. Wait until something decides to jump out at you, and then do that. Yeah. It seems like that's your best bet. But it also does seem like the game is just asking a lot from the player. What was this? Just a bucket? Yep. It's perhaps because this is keyboard control too. So this is a robotic vacuum cleaner. Yeah, maybe on mouse and keyboard you'd get a much higher reaction to this than if you were playing with a controller. Favorites wheel you can quickly select and equip weapons, and eventually side powers. Hold Y to use the favorites wheel. It's a quick select wheel. Release Y to equip the weapon. You can also consume med kits and Psy-Hypnose from the favorites wheel. Noticeably, in previous older games there would be a lot less options on these wheels, but analog sticks are a little bit more capable of pointing in multiple directions instead of just a standard 4-way or 8-way directional. But even at that, there's a lot of games that are having far too many potential different weapons come up, and you are pushing past the point of a realistic selection process when you have what feels like 12 different options on this wheel. And it doesn't do anything for your D-pad up, down, left, right options. So yeah, it does just seem to me like the idea was that would be the first place you get a neuromod, and it seems also like we're potentially going to wrap around this whole area. I assume we're not in a simulation now, so that really is the sky. Mimics are just not going to stop coming. So we take the neuromod. Now they said to install these, you have to hold it against your eye for 5 minutes with your eye open as a needle is going in your eye. So it's just really unrealistic that anybody would ever possibly be able to do that safely. Neuromod is a revolutionary TranStar invention that allows you to learn new skills and abilities. Press the back button, or what used to be called the back button, to open your transcribe and navigate to neuromod selection. It's just going to do it by default. So we could go Physician 1. The knowledge in medical practice increases the effectiveness of medkits to 150%. Or Hacking 1. Bypass level 1 security measures on computers and robotic systems. Eventually, this, if you had 4 levels, would get you to necropathy, which then would let us get the Typhon organs we've already seen. This would get you metabolic boost, double both the duration of the well-fed bonus and the health gained by consuming food. Your knowledge of medical would increase med kits by 300%. I imagine very quickly you probably would want a physician too. Also, it looks like you're just going to need a lot of neuromods in general. 4 neuromods in total, maybe in total. It would almost have to be in total, would then let you get hacking 2, then 6 for hacking 3, and then 8 for hacking 4. Well, there are other options. Leverage 1 would lift heavy objects and ease and throw objects further. Throwing objects will damage enemies. You probably won't use that very often. And we've seen parts of the game where leverage would let me move big things. Repair 1. Fix broken grav shafts, fabricators. You probably will have to do this at some point to get a repair 1 at least. So all feels very much like Bioshock 1. Suit modification upgrades your uniform with extra inventory space and allows installation of 2 additional chipsets. That's probably something you want to focus on. Break down equipment in your inventory into spare parts. That's probably a later game option. Material experts increases recycling yield, which maybe means don't recycle things until you're close to being out of space. Allow your weapon upgrade kits to upgrade non-standard tech weapons beyond modification level 1. Reduce stamina cost of wrench attacks by 25%. And I guess the question there is, are we going to stick with the wrench quite a bit throughout the game? Or are we going to immediately start moving into firearms? Let's see, increase your health and stamina probably would be very helpful to focus on too. Combat focus increases to duration of 15 seconds. Combat focus is probably a slowdown time feature. Stealth in general, it probably is a misnomer that you could really play stealthily here. I think we'll risk this here and assume that there is... Well, that's crazy that you'd stick the needle in when it's extended. And did you literally stand there for 5 minutes?
Improvisation has always been your strength. You'd be dead if it wasn't. Now, let's get you to the main lobby.
Okay. So they want me to go into the trauma center and check things out there as a side quest. Is this just a light? Yeah. Hacking 1. Okay, so it's a hacking minigame. The hacking skill allows you to bypass security protocol keypads, workstations, and security stations. At higher skills, you can hack into robotic systems such as turrets and operators. To hack, use the left stick to navigate the bit stream to reach the target. Once inside the target, press the prompted button to complete the hack. Okay. Then, I guess, you have a certain amount of time, and you probably don't want to hit the electrical things. Now, immediately we see we got an awaken weapon upgrade kit, which I imagine you can upgrade this weapon, and maybe we can't upgrade this weapon. Well, we can upgrade that with the Y menu. We can't upgrade this. So if we were to upgrade it, should we upgrade it? That's an interesting thought. Because it probably isn't the most powerful weapon out there. Bring turrets up to fabrication. See if we can find a password somewhere around here. This would be a hacking level 2. My assumption here is that there would be a real benefit to hacking before anything else, because it would then give us something of fairly high value. That being said, it seems like we would have to come back here and upgrade this a second time. Unless there's some kind of secret thing. Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're just gonna find an extra collectible. And I don't know where the broken glass and all of that is coming from, because it seems like all of these are there. Let's see. We don't really have a map. The main objective is get to the main lobby. The side objective is to check out the trauma center. And then that vacuum cleaner seems like it's not going to do anything. Okay. The main lobby. I don't know. That seems like that's going to take you to the main lobby, which... Let's just check out these restrooms first. Which will go over here to the ladies' restroom, I guess. And I feel like the trick here is probably, whenever you're near water, to just do this, and it'll immediately give you 1 health. So, yeah, it does seem like you probably are fairly safe. Flushing a toilet doesn't give you any health. Yep. Synthetic material in the trash cans. Non-working mirrors. I was zoomed in that slowed down time scenario. Crumpled paper. It doesn't really seem like there's a lot of extra stuff going on here, though, or even really a lot of extra items to potentially collect. That being said, now that they've established the gameplay mechanic of this game is the general idea of you'll never be safe and any object anywhere could potentially turn into a mimic. You're always going to have to play on your toes. I doubt we'll find like a notepad password. And honestly, I think I would almost prefer to just turn up the brightness and not use the flashlight over the current situation, which is see. That's not gonna work. So I would need leverage as a neuromod to get into the male bathroom. I'd also say it's kind of weird. Yeah, in 2023, kind of a weird idea certainly to have a male and female bathrooms. You'd think in a future world they would always push the idea of multiple bathrooms. I guess the question comes down to, can I make stairs to get me higher to this third floor? Skill recording room, restricted access, see security for entrance. Yes, that does to me seem like I don't know if I can really build enough of a flooring here. Because it does seem like you would have to get fairly lucky. Like if you just stuck to this completely. It also seems like you really can't build something there. Maybe you have to do something closer to that. Against a flat wall. Yeah. Guess that's the way to pull that off, and arguably that's used a lot of my glue guns, so welcome volunteers. Maybe not bother to do that. A chess table. Yay. And this is the volunteer testing. Level 2. Hacking required. So we immediately want level 1 hacking and, well, level 2 hacking and level 1 leverage. We have a disruptor stun gun. The disruptor stun gun will knock out human targets, Typhon or more resistant, but can still be temporarily stunned. Robotic devices can be temporarily disabled and ultimately destroyed with the disruptor. Press the right trigger to charge your stun gun to fire. Use X to reload. Does it have an infinite amount of ammo? Doesn't seem like it. So now we immediately have 2 different guns we might want to upgrade, and I bet neither one of them are the right ones to upgrade. And we don't even have like a name for this guy. It just says V dash something 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 corpse. So I guess that was a volunteer. We'll harvest plants to see if that's useful. We definitely should try the disruptor on a mimic. Volunteer quarters. Doesn't have power. So very possibly we've gotten up into this area prematurely. You can definitely tell where the audio would play a role here, as far as just needing to listen. 4 for fabrication, and it's errored out. Spare parts. Of course, you run into a problem here where the game may very well mess with you somewhat also, in the sense that you spook yourself and then decide well, one of these says do not enter, one of these says main floor. Both of these seem like you potentially are going to die of fall damage. So let's make a quick save and see what happens here. Nope, didn't seem like I took any fall damage there. Interesting. I guess this might be some kind of magnetic levitation elevator that doesn't actually move people around. This would require repair 1. We really are going all over the place. Okay. So you just have to assume that you're coming back to this area later. And we did make some progress, I would say, by getting a stun gun. We probably can't get in here until later. And the "are you sure" confirm, possibly not necessary, but we are seeing it is a load, which is weird since we've seen elevators in the past that they wouldn't try to hide the loads in elevators more. Alright.
You made it. Ready for your first real view of the world?
First real view? Or I guess maybe because my memory is erased? So the game started us thinking we were in our apartment on Earth, and now we can see we are not on Earth. Earth is probably over there, and this is the moon, and we're already on the space station. So the memory we were reliving was before we got on the space station, testing these neuromods. It's very possible these neuromods are my idea, and I'm testing them on myself, although honestly that would be a terrible thing to decide to do. Because where's your idea? Wouldn't you want to study your own designs? This feels very much in line of Bioshock, with the difference being that in Bioshock you had a kind of submarine that you were on that showed you all of Rapture in Bioshock 1 and showed you off the entirety of the base, which we're not quite getting that. There's a small scene where you do realize where you are, but yeah, I would say Bioshock did it better. Plus there's just more to actually see out there in Rapture's depiction under the water, where being shown out in space.
Good morning, Talos. Warning. Tampering with administrative controls on workstations or keypads may result in electric shock. If you're having trouble accessing a system, please send a help alert to security.
Yeah. Oddly, tampering with security does not lead to, like, punishment or termination. Definitely feels like the space station might be a little bad position.
You need to get to your office. I've updated your map. There's a video you need to see. I know you have a lot of questions.
Talos is open for you to explore from the lobby. You can reach all other parts of the space station via the bulkhead doors and lifts. You may return to the lobby and other places. I didn't have enough time to read all of that. Duck beer. So yeah, it seems like there's some space station damage. That looks like the moon, that looks like the Earth, that looks like the sun. Doesn't seem like anything too extreme. It would be, I guess, weird if there was just mimics crawling all on the outside of the space station. At that point, that would be a little demoralizing. It feels like the game is intentionally not throwing any mimics at us in this area. And at some point, I'll just get my health back up to 100% and gain enough ability. Some of these doors cannot be hacked. Which one is this? Psychotronics. So the game is not as open as it might pretend to be. Interesting, I can't harvest the plants on that plant. The leaves. Here we have another corpse, although this one seems to have been almost shot instead of killed by a mimic. I don't know if there's any way that you would potentially believe that you could have saved these corpses. TranStar exhibit. Trauma center is that way. So we know that's kind of a side quest. Let's go ahead and investigate it. This guy's about to kill me. Yeah. They want to live inside of us like a disease. This is not doing it. And
Attention. Station leadership has issued an alert.
let's see. Right trigger for more health.
For instructions.
Where'd it go? Could I have possibly blown up this canister? I don't think so. Here's another neuromod. And here we have memory of JFK, which in this future, in this reality, lived to 2031, which, boy, that would be fairly old at that point. Yeah, I have no idea if we defeated the Phantasm or not. I guess this is what our space station looks like as far as the Talos I station, which is definitely not as impressive looking at that just as a model. Can also see if we can get to this spine implant. Doesn't seem like we can. Original Neuromod prototype, so it's not something I think you could use anyways. I guess pause now if you want to read all of this. There might be little hints in that. I was expecting in defeating a Phantasm that we would get something more.
1963. A top-secret Cold War negotiation culminates with Americans and Soviets working together on a research facility named Kletka. Kletka, Russian for cage, produces the skeleton and core emergency systems of what will one day become Talos I.
There's a section like this in BioShock that was much later in the game.
1964. After the attempted
Probably
assassination
nice to have
of
it here.
Kennedy and Khrushchev's departure, the U.S. pays for the rights to use Kletka as a testing facility. This period, known as Project Axiom, leads to many advancements in next-generation materials and bioscience fundamental to neural modification. 1980 to 1994. Geopolitical developments result in a temporary hold on Project Axiom. After the unfortunate Pobeg incident, in which 2 research scientists lose their lives, the Kletka facility is decommissioned and cleaned.
What's funny is that JFK seemed to have been in charge for a lot longer
The TranStar board
than
of
the
directors
2
is
terms would have
established.
been.
TranStar purchases and privatizes the Kletka facility with a focus on safety and state-of-the-art upgrades.
Sure, safety.
2030. Talos I becomes fully operational, representing a monument of private space industry. The first neuromod is released, allowing for dramatic enhancement to the human mind and body.
The neuromods are confusing in the sense that you probably wouldn't be able to improve somebody's leverage ability or lifting ability with just giving them a skill. I guess that's why they call it leverage instead of just strength. Because, yeah, you definitely wouldn't improve strength.
Suit integrity damaged.
The suit is damaged, the better the condition your suit is in, the more damage it will absorb from enemy attacks and hazards. Use a suit repair kit to repair your suit. Okay. Just in the middle of the game. Do we have a suit repair kit? We're almost out of items. Would we get a full refill? We have 9mm bullets, and we do know we're going to get a 9mm gun at some point. We don't know if... Alright, suit integrity is back. I was not expecting that. And this game better be just checkpointing quite a bit at this point. Yeah. I'm not in a good position, per se. I think we are approaching a point where it is starting to make less and less sense to play on normal. Yeah, I just don't see how they're gonna get...
Suit integrity damaged.
Oh, the phantasm didn't die. Interesting. Hmm. Do we have things? Probably wouldn't hurt to just eat food. Which ones of these are actually food? The green ones? No. Combine them with a damaged weapon to make a repair kit. Interesting. So, half the things that you could potentially even pick up from a phantasm corpse, I can't get at the moment because I don't have necropsy. There's a corpse that I guess I just missed because I came this way. It looks like it's getting even darker. Alright, so let's ask this question. As far as neuromods go, before I could do hacking 2, health kits being more useful probably would be helpful. Repair 1 would let me... Might be something. Leverage 1 would also be something. Run and sprint 5% faster. And almost certainly in the New Game Plus, if you had all these items upgraded, yeah, then you could take out more of these enemies. Alright, well, I think you go with leverage 1. And they're not going to show you the animation every time. It's probably worth it to quick save. And it seems like we're going to be quick saving quite a bit until I finally just give up the ghost and decide to lower the difficulty. See a turret. Would the turret shoot at me? You can see an employee orientation room. It probably is smarter to take your time in the smaller areas. Yeah, staying in smaller areas is going to reduce the number of people they could throw at me. And I guess I'll just use the glue gun as much as possible first. This guy is really wrecking me. Yep. What was that sound? These small mimics are just doing too much damage. So we can now like carry things and move them out of the way. But it's mostly just light things. So if there's something fairly big, it still would block the path, and I imagine all the good resources are going to be hidden behind things. And I guess the sound effect was because a trash can or a mimic came into the room. Is this the right way to go? That's a health kit, and I will immediately use that. We can see more stuff this direction. Definitely seems like the game is designed in such a way that you pretty much have to run around the edges and just be prepared to attack everything. If there was something about your lighting in particular, then maybe that could help you too. And I guess we'll leave no toilet unflushed and see if we can find anything. Not really finding enough resources, enough health kits. Now would be a good time to also experiment on just whether or not the flashlight drains, which it does. So pause now if you want to read this. So you're gonna have to get good about hearing your own footsteps too, and if other things are making noise. Interesting.
Please inform your immediate supervisor.
Somebody on the other side of this wall. Now, did I get both of the mimics? I don't know. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. There's definitely also a question as to whether or not the mimics ever stop coming, or if they are just infinite spawners. At a certain level in Bioshock, it was not every... Yeah, I don't think there was really any infinite spawning at all in Bioshock. I think it was all fairly scripted spawns. And yeah, there's just no real telling which way we're supposed to go. I want to make it to this trauma center, but I also know that that way lies a bunch of mimics. And this goo cannon is running out of things. So let's see.
Scanning target, no alien material detected.
Interesting. So can I carry the turret? Yes, I can. How do we deploy?
Eradicator auto turret version 0.7.6 online.
I think these turrets are awful because there was a mimic right there and it's now somewhere around here. I'm just collecting flowers. Main lift probably is something we're going to call at some point.
Scanning target. No typhon material detected.
No typhon material detected. So we now have a key card. Guess you want to be fairly careful to not accidentally pick up an item when you're trying to fight people. Alright, well.
Ready to scan.
I know there's a typhon somewhere around here. We have another dead body. And this guy here. I don't know what the value of hacking these guys really is. Though they seem to attack anyways. So we need a key card to get to this area. And we probably need a spacesuit upgrade too. And that's the exit. It feels like some of these turrets straight up attacked the humans though, too. Okay. So now, if I was going to carry this, put it down, it's just broken. And that one's still somewhat useful. But fairly obviously, you're not going to survive this game by using turrets at any level that you might have used them, even in BioShock, and very rarely are you even capable of using them in BioShock. That's not the kind of game they're trying to make here, where you could actually play as like a stealth player. Security. Explosive canisters. I think there probably is room to ask the question as far as
1963, 1980 to 2020, 2030.
Just activate all those just to see if that did anything. Even if I did have a repair ability, I don't know if it would really be worth doing that. Okay, let's go check out security. We have two different directions. Trauma Center is 22 meters that way. Security seems like it probably stops here. Yep, so we're not getting into security. This whole facility could be fairly small. When it gets down to its like core components. In all fairness, Rapture is kind of a small thing. Well, I thought that was a mimic, and we're going to see scripted sequences, I imagine, where mimics do knock things around to replace them. These barricaded doors, though, don't seem like they can be broken. We do have the key card to this. And so now it would just be a question about how many mimics are actually in the trauma center. Are we going to run into a phantasm? What was that I just saw? Saw something that said something like Garfield. Garfield Langley. Utilities. Download area map. Cool. So now we have a whole map. What does this tell us? There's an operator dispenser, whatever that is. There's crew members, which locate this crew member in the shuttle bay. And seems like
Good
there's...
morning, Talos. Our resident counselor, Dr. Cole, would like to encourage anyone experiencing symptoms of disturbed sleep, chronic stress, or anxiety to schedule an appointment in the trauma center.
So it seems like we're potentially making a whole bunch of side objectives. But no, it seems like you can only have one at a time, so... So let's free this person first. I also have a tracking bracelet we apparently picked up. Patients ahead of you are 1. So yeah, I don't know if you really would need to potentially go into this crew of 13 and like locate every single person who's dead. Seems to me like there's potentially multiple people that are still alive that you would want to try and save. And then there's potentially tons of people that are dead that I don't know if there's really as much value to trying to pretend like you can save them. Or there's a value in finding their bodies. Let's auto sort. Some more stuff. Security tracking bracelet issued to all TranStar employees and volunteers. Let's see. We can't upgrade the wrench. We can't dismantle the other wrench. We don't have any other Nora mods. We wanted to check the objectives, is what we wanted to check. Yeah. So this is just moving things around. So it seems like there's multiple locations at least here on this list. Quite a lot. And this will be just our goal. Is to find the one in the trauma center to start with. And then emails. Weird, I can't pull those records up. They're not in the system. Still want to swing by. Alejandro, please come see me. Can you transfer her charts and family records as well? Sorry, should have informed you. NSP shot was for Chief Yilshin. Should have logged it. Who is the NSP being administered to? There's a whole conversation here, but it's kind of upside down and backwards. Attention security officers in trauma. We have multiple people. Wow. Apparently, I didn't have it move fast enough and a corpse has vanished. Attention all security officers in trauma. We have multiple people en route to injuries as well as possible fatalities. One of them is Dr. Sylvanine Bellamy. Do not take him into the trauma center. He must be taken to psychotronics. He is an extremely grave security and health issue. I repeat, do not admit Dr. Sylvanine Bellamy to trauma center. Take him to psychotronics immediately. Alexander Yu. Crew. Yeah. So I don't know which objective just changed there. Find Emmanuel De Silva in Shuttle Bay. Get Bellamy's key from this. What happened to this? Yeah, he's in the shuttle bay. Okay. So is anybody actually in the trauma center? So basically I have no idea where any of these people are. So it does seem like you would just come back later on to these lists once you've got a handle on where people are and what's going on, and you probably, storyline-wise, would end up dealing with all of these people anyways. At some point, we're going to get to Alex U and Arboretum. Is anybody on the bridge alive? Cargo bay. Possibly he's one to potentially take. The location where they're assigned seems to not be particularly where they end up, which does make some sense. And each of these checkpoints, I assume, are just bodies we found. So it almost seems like there's probably an achievement for finding each of these corpses, and that's why each one of them are named. I wouldn't be surprised if each of the names are actually a programmer or somebody who worked on the game. Yeah, I imagine drinking water and smashing glass is not as big of a deal. I don't see in a way, though, that I'm taking out these guys. Just seems like that's a lot of people. Let's quick save. We may already be in trouble.
Suit integrity damaged. Vital signs critical.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think normal is playable, really, for me. Maybe I'm just not that good of a player. Certainly, I'll grant that, but let's go down to easy mode and just resume. No warning of that potentially changing any achievements or anything like that. Yeah. The fact that you have like named enemies now, I think probably highlights something. Am I supposed to do something with this?
Obstruction detected. Please clear aperture.
I think the move is go stealth, let these guys walk around, and then grab what's on the corpse, and then leave. Then we will just have to come back to this whole area later. The only other thing that would even slightly make some sense would be to figure out like what the deal with this is.
Requesting new operator. TranStar Pyramid 490 medical class operator ready to deploy. Please stand clear of aperture.
Okay. hoping that maybe the operator would distract them. Doesn't seem like you get the little mimics as much when you have the big mimics around. Read that. Pause. Pause now if you want to read that. Utilities. Begin new test. New test started. Files. Let's see, how do I get out from crouching? It's this way. Transfer file.
Tell me about the dream.
The dream. Yes. It's always in my lab, and I'm standing in front of the glass.
Are you alone?
Yes.
What do you see in the glass?
Pause now if you want to read this.
Nothing. At first, I don't want to turn it on, but I can't help it. I have to turn it on. When I do, it's like the heart of a black hole, an immense darkness. There's something
Pause now if you want to read
swimming
this.
in the black. I catch glimpses, edges of the shape. I feel as though it wants to come
We now have a
onto my side.
key
I
code.
have to turn off the glass before it sees me, but I always wake before I can.
What does it look like? The shape in the glass.
Nothing.
Does it look like this image here? Dr. Calvino, does it look like this?
No, that's... No, I don't...
Are you sure?
Where did you get that drawing? Have you been spying on me? I don't want to talk to you anymore.
So, yeah, interesting things. Got a new key code. And we're getting memories from people.
Sarai, come in.
It's Sarah, but you can call me Chief Elazar. Matt.
Matthias, please. Forgive me, but your name is Sarai in the file.
We've been over this. My mother Americanized it. Will we be spending the next 59 minutes like this? Because we could cut it short right now.
We've discussed your mother. I thought perhaps today we could speak more about the career choices that were born of that.
Serving in the military wasn't an excuse to get away from her nagging. Matt, I was just restless.
And you're better now? Not restless?
I'm fine.
Because your last tour of duty was the evacuation, and reports
Pause now if you want to read this. Interesting, the audio stopped when I popped that up.
there.
I saved as many as I could. For every
I guess the
soldier we
game
lost, we were
pauses
able
when
to
you
save
are in
100
reading
civilians.
Yes.
but not when you're reading off a
Tragic.
screen.
Still, to lose soldiers under your command.
The cost was worth it, both in lives and the unification of the region.
Taking on a losing battle like
These
that.
notes are different
Fighting
from
not
just
enemy troops, but the equivalent of a
subtitles
natural
here
disaster.
It wasn't natural, it
of
was
what's being
man-made.
spoken.
It prepared me for here, Dr. Cole. Because this station, it's the same thing, a disaster waiting to happen. We are well-trained and poorly equipped. The research is dangerous. Keeping secrets secret is dangerous. I'm sure you would agree.
You have a whole bunch of other stuff.
These psych evals are a waste of time.
A waste of time. Like back on Earth?
That was different.
Was it? Anger, issues with authority. A year of counseling doesn't sound like a trivial matter.
It seems like this
Those files were
Matthias
supposed to be closed.
guy is
Are
not a
you
very
angry?
I'm getting
good
Any
psychologist
new relationships?
if he's trying to make people
No.
I
happier.
thought you and Miss Foy, the sanitation engineer, were seen together.
there. She's a sanitation boss, and we're not in a relationship. Not anymore.
Ah. And this separation, did it involve anger? Issues with authority?
Screw this. I'm done. Report me to the U's. I don't care. They're putting the station at risk just like TranStar North and just like on Earthside. You assholes will bury it with your psych eval bullshit. And another thing.
Okay. Back to hiding. While we're at it, let's also see if we can repair our suit. Do we have a suit repair? We do have a neuromod, and we might as well just start to use that, so yeah. Repairing things, probably not as useful. Firearms, or conditioning to move faster. Like, arguably, maybe stealth is a smarter move at some level. Enemies take longer to detect you when you're sneaking around the crawling. But I think first and foremost, you just are going to have to go for this. And then, yeah, we're still waiting to see if we get up to 4 neuromods. Maybe that requires 4 neuromods alone. Seems like you are going to pick them up fairly quickly. Shotgun shells. I think I just dropped something. Okay, well, we have 2 weapon upgrades at this point. Seems like I'm probably being a little crazy to not use them. Yeah. I think to make a suit repair kit, you have to take a broken weapon and yeah, you would need the dismantle ability. I did drop that. Okay. Extra health. Now. Seems like we've got the name of several people. Right. What I wanted to also do is see if we could pull up the map. So where would be quarantine? Let's see, what did the doors tell me? What did the yellow mean as far as the bars? Can I zoom in and zoom out? Yeah, I don't know if that really helps you. Honestly, I think it's probably the wisest thing to do is just to leave. Just fly out of here and fly out of here. And let's just check the objectives. Get Bellamy's room from his body in psychotronics. So really they only did expect you to go that far as the front door to read that he's not in this area. He's instead in psychotronics, which I'm willing to believe I probably should just follow that submission as it is. And in fact, let's just quick save so we don't die and end up back in that area. I feel like the game is going to have to refill its first aid kits in some places too. It just doesn't feel like there's a way you're going to get around that. Okay, we'll put that there. Elevator door. Riley Butler is 4 meters. Up that area. Let's see. There's a malfunction. And so we can't get to it from
Getting
there.
around is going to be a problem. The main lift is broken. The system is telling me it's fine. It's just... the diagnostic code is changing every time I make a request. I'll let you know if I find a workaround.
Okay. So there's something weird going on there. We went in there. Let's see. No matching key card. So.
Diagnostic check. Verbose. IFF. Nominal power load. Nominal actuators. Nominal tilt handling error. Please contact engineering.
So yeah, it seems to me like I can't get into the area I'd like to get into at the moment, which then probably means I need to change objectives, which see where that's pointing us. The video file is 60 meters that way into our office. So let's ask the question as to whether or not we can just get through here. Yeah, if it says no matching key card, I'm assuming I'll never be able to get in there. And then the security door there, at some point if I could just activate that button. Interesting. A Dungeons and Dragons character sheet. Wait a minute, that character sheet may be a code to get into the security office. You may have used the numbers on the character sheet as a code, if there was a code. It doesn't seem like it's infinitely spawning. Thank goodness for that. Okay. Nope. That's a key card thing, not a code thing. So even if the character sheet does lead to a code of some sort, not at the moment. Would that be useful? Doesn't seem like you take any fall damage. But maybe Elias Black's location. There's a gun upgrade. It does look like there might be something locked back there. And that's the turret making the noise. Which, at this point... guess I can't do anything with it. I can't shut it down. So I guess the plan is to slowly work your way through all of this area. And clean it out mostly. At some point it seems like you might be fairly safe in this lobby area, but there are definitely some named heavy hitter characters. IT department. Right trigger would examine this. Do we get extra reward for hacking? I guess would be the question. And then if we could move 3 things, if we had leverage 3, we could get to that point. And then it's going to get really crazy as far as just trying to go back and check your notes as far as keys. Yeah, all we have is a key code for the Talos, the quarantine area. And the way Morgan Yu is being depicted here is not really what I saw at the beginning of the game. That's weird. Okay, we're looking at IT security. Hey, we got hacking for a reason. Let's do hacking. And yeah. As long as we don't end up with major Talos people. Looks like there's another phantasm somewhere around here.
Good morning, Talos. Breakfast is served in the cafeteria until 9 a.m.
Did we make that in one of the labs? So it seems like the phantasms are very much like mimicking humans, or maybe war humans at one time. What do you see in the glass?
Suit integrity damaged.
Alright, let's...
Vital signs critical.
Yeah, this guy's about to kill me. It's not just that the phantasm kills you, it's like every time there's a phantasm, there's 2 of them. Yeah, and that's just an overwhelming amount. And honestly, it seems like that's an intentionally overwhelming amount. So arguably hacking maybe is a waste of a neuromod, in the sense that if it's hacking your way into a new area, you're just going to find very strong enemies behind that area that you're not ready to take on. And I assume that these mimics probably are not too bothered by the idea of being in open space. Otherwise you would potentially have just sent them out into space fairly quickly. It definitely feels like these art pieces at some point are going to play some role. We'll just go ahead and run. I guess part of the question to ask here is, are the phantasms supposed to be the equivalent of Big Daddies in Bioshock to such an extreme extent that eventually you'll always probably struggle somewhat with them, but eventually you'll get fairly commonplace. There's a gun. The thing we need more than anything is probably just a standard handgun that we can use to do big damage on phantasms and probably not use on small mimics at all. So, guest and volunteer liaison. Trauma Center key card. It seems like we already had a Trauma Center key card. This is interesting. You have these like outlet looking things, but that's probably not what they are. These are bottles, but they're not bottles you can pick up. Okay. Let's see what new emails we have. New key code. I'm gonna need more support. The volunteers are agitated more than usual. This morning 11 threatened to bash my head in if I didn't let him out and stretch his legs. When you get up here, the key code is 4756, not the old number on file. I'm pretty sure they've been watching me punch that in, so I changed it. This is Security Officer John Haskins. So I assume that's the security office code we just got. Meeting Gustav. Let's see, I relay your previous request and we'll see what we can do, but there are no guarantees. The schedule for visit is tight and may now allow a face-to-face. I'll let you know if I have any more details. Sincerely, Bianca.
Good morning, Talos. Breakfast is served in the cafeteria until 9 a.m.
This is a follow-up to my previous request. I was wondering if there are any updates on Gustav Lettner's visit. Is it still taking place? If so, would it be possible to get a copy of his itinerary? I'd love a chance to meet him before the neuromapping procedure, if possible. Riri leader's visit. Yeah, Igwe showed up, quiet and polite. He shook Leitner's hand like he was afraid of breaking him, asked him to sign the album he brought. Leitner seemed flattened, so that was a plus. We've tried to make him comfortable. His condition hasn't stopped him from craving a cigarette. Fingers were twitching. It's too bad, such a talent. No wonder he wanted to get scanned. So apparently somebody is very old, and getting scanned, I suspect, means that you're having your skill and talent downloaded, and that one would assume copied into multiple neuromods that is then injected into the brains of other people. That would be totally my guess as to how this all works. Then you have just a ton of tarps, and these tarps totally do not feel right. Pause now if you want to read this. I think when you get these kinds of pops-ups, these are going to be more supplemental stuff and not keys and codes. Although, in all fairness, you don't really have to read any of it if you don't want to, it seems. Pause now if you want to read that. Because it does seem like you just automatically unlock the code as soon as you see it. Can't really read this one. I'm trusting you with my brain. You do good work, and so hopefully that continues. Listen, the tests don't go well. If something happens, let Alex know that I know it wasn't his fault. I signed up for this. Also, if the tests drag on, consider moving your office down to Sim.
The code to your office is 0451.
Interesting. She just tells you the code. Less hassle, and you can always move back after we celebrate success. So, Morgan, this is you emailed Sylvian Bellamy. So, was this your office? No. I don't think it was.
Scanning target. No typhon material detected.
Yeah, we still... Where'd it go? We still are very much in a situation where we're just early into this game, and it's slowly establishing what kind of game it's going to be and how it's going to play. It's going to have a lot of jump scares, obviously. So, Jason Chang, no password found. OMG, that boss. And in here there's one email. Let's see. From Morgan Yu, Jason Main screwed up the keypad in my office. Had them set it to 0451. It'll be in the sim lab a while. So if you need anything, help yourself. So the game just told me what the code was. Probably because I was just taking too long. Although at this point, like, I'm not sure I particularly love the idea of this system where it just pops up the code but still makes you type it in. Might as well just type it in automatically.
Scanning target. No typhon material detected.
Yeah, where did that typhon go? Would have thought it would have been in here. But apparently the turret got it. Interesting. And yeah, we're gonna make it to our office and see a video.
Welcome back. This has been your home for the last 3 years. The video should be on your workstation.
There's a lot of ashtrays built into these sofas. It's just like a lot of smoking going on for some reason. I guess maybe this is a world where cigarettes or tobacco is not as dangerous. Maybe they figured out a way to make it safer. So we have like a full-on recycler here. And we need to learn how to use that. We now have a key card. And here's an operator dispenser. And here's a fabricator. All of these are things that are going to play big roles in the gameplay, I think. And I think you're fairly safe, as I doubt that we're going to get attacked by a mimic in this area. And a weapon upgrade kit is that same picture. Yep, as far as the use. Interesting. I threw that. We have 3 neuromods and we have no inventory to put them in. Interesting. Pause now if you want to read this. Okay, let's look at the fabricator first. I want this. This would require, let's see, I have infinite licenses. It would require 2 of these greens and 2 of these lines. Okay. Wrench just requires 2 of those. Now, so you have to basically match it. It's almost like a Minecraft crafting crafting grid, so actually you need 4 items. Okay. The operator dispenser doesn't seem to be doing anything at the moment. Let's put some items in the bin. Okay. So, if I just hold X, I will transfer junk. And that's probably the first thing to do. And then, if I dismantle this, it would give me a spare part. And then, let's see, is there anything else we would want to get rid of? No, I don't think so. It kind of feels like these spare parts and weapon repair kits are things that are maybe not even really that necessary if you're playing outside of the mode where you actually take weapon damage. Like, okay. So, that's going to send all that stuff that way. And then you can just hold X if you're somewhat close to pick up all of that. And so that fixes your inventory quite a bit, because now you just have this material as one general you have a material as far as just general things. Okay, add ingredients. It does it automatically. Great. And I think we can pretty well tell that we're going to need probably a few of these. I don't have enough ingredients to make any more, though. So, the whole game has got this whole system in which you find junk, you recycle it for base materials, and then the base materials lead to a fabricator who could make just a couple of things, but obviously at some point we're going to look for more recipes, and hopefully we don't have to just fabricate a weapon to get a recipe to make a new weapon, but we may. It may not be that big of a deal. That has cleaned up my inventory fairly well and definitely painted a better picture as far as just how this game is going to play. Let's see. And if I was to say pop up this one, I don't think we have particularly much glue in this at this point. So, handling, range, reload speed versus power, range, shots, and a recharge rate. Which maybe the stun gun at a full upgrade might be useful. And you can't upgrade the wrench at all. If anything, it still does feel like it's probably better just to save all these weapon modifications until we get a real gun. We'll go ahead and hit this just to make sure there's Nothing special there. Now we have room for the neuromods. Now we can take a teleconferencing key card. Let's see. Have the plan as you requested. It's in your safe, Jason. Do we have our code? Yes. We assume it is the same code. Cigar. Either the safe is closed, which it doesn't seem like it is, or we already took it out of the safe, or that's not really the safe, that's a dummy safe.
If you're having trouble accessing a system, please send a help alert to security.
We have a locker also. Yeah, no mimics around here. Control panel. I guess maybe if you wanted to. If you needed to repair a recycling machine, I guess that's how you would do that. Is there perhaps times in which you'll have to repair multiple of these? Seems like you might. So do you get any benefit from hacking your own system? Other than potentially just an achievement? This is going to be hard to pull off. Yeah. So, not worth it. Hello Morgan, the LGV file should clear things up. Please make sure you're alone when you play this file. Versus, you made it EOM. I still don't know what happened. I put that behind me, but there's no reason that you still can't be civil. You passed me in the hall today and you looked through me. If you're angry at me, it's something I did tell me, and we can talk about it. Pretending you don't even know who I am isn't going to help. We still have to work together, Micah. Very possibly my brain was wiped at that point. Morgan, as requested, your terminal logs have been automatically forwarded to your suite and crew quarters, and the supplies for the hardware sent up. Let me know if they get to you all right or not. I'll get it resolved like last week. I'll make sure you aren't disturbed in the interim. Let me know if there's anything else I can do. I'll hold down the fort for you. Fort outside your office. There's no dates on these emails. It's not a particularly good email system. So who knows when these messages would have happened. Playback on main screen. I guess this is the main screen. Still loading in the future, apparently.
Hello, Morgan. Tough day, right? If I'm talking to myself, it must be. Your memory's shot full of holes, I know. I'm sorry, but it's permanent. So the first thing you need to know is you can trust January. It's an operator, a sort of backup of you and me. It knows what you've forgotten. We've been testing a new kind of neuromod based on the Typhon organisms, mapping their neural patterns onto ours. Problem is, when you uninstall a neuromod, it resets your memory back to the moment you first put it in. That's why you forget. There's supposed to be a process that brings you back up to speed between test runs. But someone could just skip that part, turn a single day into your entire life. Well, that's exactly what Alex did. The question is, why? You're not going to like what I have to say next.
Looking glass server connection lost. So it sounds like Alex access
I found
screens.
every one of those damn videos. Sorry, but I can't let you listen to that. Not until I've had a chance to explain everything in person. For now, just... Damn it. I have to go. Just sit tight. Please.
Nothing in the safe. And it seems like we once again got caught.
Sorry, Morgan. Alex cut us off from the Looking Glass servers. Time to improvise. I suggest you search Dr. Calvino's workshop in the hardware labs. He invented the Looking Glass technology. You might find a way to restore the server connections there. I'm looking for another way to help you in the meantime. Good luck.
And there's just yet another door and then yet another secret behind a mirror through a glass darkly. I assume if I was to take an explosive canister and just throw it like that, it didn't even explode. Yeah. I assume it wasn't going to just explode and open the door, though. So operators are like computers, assistants. What's funny is there is potentially an argument to going all the way back to the beginning of the area, like where we started. It's just no point in not just beating it to death. And let's see. Yeah, the only thing I could think of doing here is possibly going in here and setting this up.
Scanning target. No alien material detected.
Like my goal here was to put this down and deploy this.
Eradicator Autodroid version 0.7.6 online.
Are the phantasms just like gone now?
Typhon contaminant found.
I got him. Well enough. Interesting. So yeah, remember I am also just playing on like easy. So that is something to also consider. So, yeah, it seems like a turret could probably take out a regular phantasm, but not take out a, like, fiery phantasm. So that wasn't a terrible thought to just jump over here. Yep. Not a terrible thought to pick up one of these and take it with you and try and clear out this area.
Error log submitted. Deploying. Debug build version 0.7.6. Turbos on. Attitude adjustment required. Alien threat detected.
Yep, and he took it out immediately. Okay. Let's get away from this door so it closes first. It does seem like now that a new chapter has started, we are potentially in a respawned area as far as the Titans go, or the Mimics go. I guess they're called both. As far as new mods go, I don't have enough neuromods to do necropsy. And honestly, I don't think I actually need that now that I know what exotic material is. So, being able to repair things, I think makes a lot of sense. And suit modification, extra inventory, and additional chipsets, probably not a terrible thought, but maybe I should sit on that for a while. Increase your health and stamina. Let's see. Think health, health, health probably is what you want, although, because like I am dying quite a bit at this point. So 1 health and stamina. And then as far as normods go, I don't think I could upgrade anything else anyways. What are our objectives at this point? Main story is to go this way towards a different area. Where is that? Hardware labs. Where are the hardware labs? I have to go up and down. I guess the yellow doors tell us that it's a barricaded or blocked door. And the hardware labs themselves are in this through the sales division, so we would have to figure out a way through that blocked door on the sales division, wouldn't we? An arboretum seems to be very close to the top. And there's another sub-basement. So it seems like we're going to stay in this whole area. And then you can also see that there are several other areas. Compared to Bioshock 1, this seems like there might be 2 or 3 extra areas compared to that, but no telling how big they are. And no telling really how much this builds around the story. The bigger question certainly would just come down to, can we get into new areas? Don't have really a ton of key cards or a ton of passwords or a ton of key codes. And yeah, clearly we do need to pick up plans at some point. There's a whole bunch of stats that probably don't matter. even getting to the crew quarters would be kind of hard to figure out. Let's see. Is there crew quarters connection? Doesn't really seem like there is. And what are our other objectives? Get to the cargo bay, which again, I don't think the cargo bay is directly connected to the lobby. Or find Bellamy's room key from his body. Which that does seem like that is our first main mission. Ideally, though, there is an argument to go back to the first area and investigate that first area a little bit more, because we have that key code. So I think that's what I want to do. Let's make a hard save first of all, and then run back to where we started, see what's inside that safe, because if there's even 3 extra neuromods in that safe, that would totally be worth it. Or if there's a gun in there or anything. Of course, we may go back in that area and find that there's a whole bunch of phantasm mimics and that it's going to be super dangerous. We've gone extra long this episode. I'm getting more and more into the groove of this game and then liking it. I suspect at this rate, though, that there is kind of a little bit of an imbalance, at least for me. Maybe I'm just getting old and becoming a very bad player, in that we have had to drop down from normal to easy, and even at that, I'm struggling somewhat. Perhaps the game is a little bit too open-ended, or perhaps we're still in the early point of the game where we haven't been handed an actual gun to use, and once we get an actual gun, it'll be much more reasonable. I don't know, though, if we are just going to see upgraded versions of the mimics we've already seen and never see anything particularly big or have any boss fights or anything like that. The game may heavily focus around these dangerous areas, slowing you down, and then when you get past the dangerous areas, you may just get storyline, and then you may just be back to the dangerous area. There may not be a third balance there where you would have super powerful boss fights or even particularly a lot of puzzles. The hacking minigames will be puzzles, but I imagine a lot of the gameplay outside of hacking will not be logical or puzzly. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.